Hey y'all, and welcome back to your girl Brittany. Thanks so much for hanging out, and thanks for tuning in for another installment of Humpday Handmade. This whole series, year-long series, is hosted by Scrappy Tate and Sharing More, where everything is handmade. No electronic cutting machine, no dyes, no nada. So I absolutely love this because you guys know I already like to bring projects like this for you anyway, especially for those who don't have the cutting machines. There's always an alternative way to try to make something that you really like. And so if you had missed out on what I did last month, I'll have that video linked down below. I am starting a playlist, so you can always refer back to them if you ever want to give them a try. So this month I was inspired by this cute looking, well, the picture itself is not all that cute, but I just thought, I was like, you know what, I want to do that. I can make that look really adorable. And it's a Satchel backpack purse here that I'm gonna have flashing up on the screen. And I was like, how adorable is that? So I went ahead and I did it, and this is what I came up with. Oh my gosh, isn't she cute? I love her so much. Oh my goodness gracious. Isn't she adorable? And then you can decorate these however you want. And one of my other main focus for this as well was that I wanted to give you an opportunity to use those 6x6 paper pads, because I know that I've fallen behind. I buy them, but I never use them. And so I really wanted to figure out something that where you can make a whole bunch of them and send them out for Happy Mail with all sorts of treats and goodies, and use your 6x6 papers at the same time. And so this one, I also made this one here. Isn't she adorable? These two I've made to give for some challenges that I am participating in. So this one here, this one is called, this is from Girl Squad by Pebbles. Can't remember what this one was, but this was a hot buy from Michael's like years ago. So you have this one here. Like I say, you can do like some little minor decorations. And like there's the back. So isn't she adorbs? And then this is the one that we are going to do in the video today. So, and then this one, I'll explain what collection I am using, and as always guys, I'll have the measurements down below in the description box for you, so if you want to follow along you sure can too. But make sure after you watch my video you go ahead and check out the other girls in the lineup as well and see what they had came up with for this month. So if you'd like to see how these cute little satchel backpack purses are made, make sure you stay tuned. Okay, so to get started, you want to choose your paper collection that you're going to use. I am using Uptown Chic. Now, you can make everything out of your solid cardstock and then do some matting, but otherwise, the whole purpose is to use your 6x6 papers. So the first thing you're going to need, I have my regular pink cardstock, and you're going to need one that measures 4.5 by 3. And then on the 3-inch side, we're going to score at 1/2 inch, rotate 1/2 inch, rotate 1/2 inch. And then you're going to rotate it back at the very beginning, so you have your 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and then your 1/2 inch down here. And then you're going to draw a line about halfway down at 1.5. Then you're going to need another one that is measured at 9.5 by 3, and you're gonna go 1/2 inch, and then 2.5. Then we're gonna rotate on that 9.5 inch side, and we're going to score at 5.5, and then we're gonna rotate it back, and then again we're gonna meet it at the middle here at 1.5, and we're just gonna drive it down about halfway. For our next pieces, you are going to need two pieces that measure 2 by 1/2 inch. And on the 2-inch side, we're going to score at 1/4 inch, rotate it, and then score it at 1/4 inch. And you're going to do that on both your pieces. And don't worry, I'll have all this information down below for you in the description box. Then you're going to need two pieces that measure 2.5 by 1. Then this one I'm doing with my decorative cardstock, and you're going to need 2 that measure 5 3/4 by 4 1/2. And then starting on the 5 3/4 side, you're going to score at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1 1/2, rotate, 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1 1/2, rotate, and then do it again, 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1 1/2. And these are going to be for the pockets. Then you're going to need 2 that measure 4 by 6, so no scoring on those. Then you'll need 1 that is measured at 6 by 3. And on the 3-inch side, we're going to score at 1/2 inch. And then this is our lid. Then we'll need a piece that measures 6 by 1/2 inch. And on the 6-inch side, we're going to score at 1/2 inch. Rotate, 1/2 inch. And lastly, for the straps, we're going to need 2 of them that measure 6 by 1. And we're going to score at 1/2 inch. Rotate, 1/2 inch, and you're going to do that on both pieces. So this next part, this is optional, but I am going to round my pieces here. So this is the front and back of my purse. So I'm just going to corner round the bottom corners. Just give it a nicer look. And then our pieces that measure 2 1/2 by 1, I'm going to corner round just the bottom corners. Okay, so we have that. That's just done and out the way. Oh, and one more. And then our lid, the one that measures 3 by 6 with that 1/2 inch score, I'm going to round the bottom corners of that as well. Alright, so going to our pieces, the 9 1/2 by 3 and then the 4 1/2 by 3, we're going to grab our ruler and our scoring tool. So that line where we had scored about halfway down at 1 1/2, we're going to take our ruler and then where it ended, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to score a line to our corner. So I'm going to take where we ended to the corner and do a score, and I'm going to repeat that on the other side. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this piece. Okay. Now I'm going to kind of just bend the pieces towards me, and then in the center that 1 1/2 score pin towards me as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and varnish my other score lines. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Push that in, push that in, and then varnish. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some score tape. You are more than welcome to use wet glue or anything, but I'm going to use my score tape, and I'm going to apply it to those 1/2 inch score lines. Oops, I don't know why I bent it there. I'm going to do the same thing to this one. Now I'm going to take my scissor. It'd be a lot easier to see from the back without the score tape. So you see we have this little square here. I am going to do a minor cut on the outside of the squares. So do that on both sides. And then I'm going to minor these top portions here as well. And then on this side, you see we have that 5.5-inch score line there. I'm going to do a little minor cut on the outside, that score line, up to the score line, just like that. And then do the same thing on this side. And then I'm going to minor this top part here. Now I'm going to remove the score tape on this bottom piece here. And so we have the line that we drew on this side. We're going to attach this one on the other end. And so I'm just going to line it up right up before that score line. Make sure I am even. So then we have this piece right here, like that. So I'm going to put that to the side for right now. And I am going to grab my pieces that are going to be the pockets. And so here we have these 9 squares. I'm going to do kind of like how I did with the other one. I'm going to cut an angle outside of the squares. So I'm going to do a small angle here, small angle cut here, and then the same thing on the other side. And I'm going to repeat that on the other one. Now I'm going to go ahead and varnish the score lines. I'm going to do the Mountain Valley fold. So I'm going to fold on that very first one. I'm going to fold away from me, then back towards me, then away from me. Away, towards me, away. Forward, back, forward. And I'm going to repeat that on this one. Now for this, instead of trying to like tuck it in and try to hold it and make sure it's in, I'm going to show you a little trick here. So we have our little wings on the side here. I'm going to fold in. So then we have our 2 little flaps on the side here. And then my bottom one, I'm going to fold up. Now I'm going to fold my piece in. Fold my piece in. And then I'm going to take my hot glue. And I hear some just at the bottom, and then fold in my bottom tab. So in that way, when we apply the pocket onto the front of our purse, it'll make it a lot easier to do. So the same thing, so we have our little wings. I'm going to push forward, and then I'll pull up my bottom, then left, right, add my hot glue, just a tiny bit at the bottom, and then I'm going to fold my bottom up. So just like that. So I'm going to grab one of my pieces for my purse, and I want to make sure I have things lined up, but beforehand, because I have my corners rounded here, I'm going to take my corner rounder and round my corners of my pocket. You don't have to do this, but I just think it makes it look nicer. Now if you have a corner punch and it doesn't actually punch all the way through, that is fine. If you just make the indentations and then take your scissor and cut it, or you can just go ahead and take your scissor and cut it. Cut around it. So now I have my corners here, and so these pockets will leave about a 1/4 inch on the sides there, and that's how you want it. So if you don't trust yourself with hot glue, then take your wet glue. Otherwise, I'm using hot glue, and I'm just going to apply it on my edges. And then I'm going to line it up and press down. See, it's so much easier. You don't have to worry about trying to tuck your pieces in. If they're already attached, you're good. I'm going to do the same thing to this one. So now we have our pockets. We're going to go ahead and put that to the side, and we are going to grab this piece again. So what I am going to do is I am going to remove my score tape. I'm going to remove my score tape. Now you can go ahead and remove all of them at once so you don't have to worry about it, or you can go ahead and do one side first and then do the other side. I am going to remove all of them. And so that when I fold it up, I can create my shape. Our purse is 6 inches across. This here measures 5 3/4. So we are going to make sure we leave about 1/4 of an inch, not a quarter. This measures 5 1/2, sorry. And we're going to make sure we leave about 1/4 of an inch, just eyeball it. I'm going to apply some glue so that way I can kind of maneuver it a little bit before completely pressing it down. And so like I said, I'm just going to eyeball it, and I'm going to match it up at the end. And then I'm going to press down. Then I'm going to add glue to my top part. And then we're going to take my pockets and do the same thing. So we have the base of the purse. Now I'm going to take my lid. I am going to go ahead and fold on that score line. And I am going to add some score tape to that 1/2 inch score line. You don't have to. You can use your wet glue. Maybe your hot glue. And then I'm still going to add some wet glue on here. And you're going to match this up to your back piece up at the score line. So make sure it lines up. And then I'm going to go ahead and press that down. Alright, so that's how we have it so far. So those pieces that are, what's this? These are the 2 by 1/2 inch, and we scored at the 1/4 inch. I'm going to go ahead and just fold on those score lines. I'm going to fold my purse over, so it should kind of look, oops. So it should kind of look like that. I want my little buckles to go right underneath where my purse lid can sit. So I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it down, and I'm going to take my hot glue, and I'm going to eyeball the middle portion. Just kind of eyeball it. See, get in the middle, and then I'm going to press down. And then I'm going to do that same thing on the other side. Okay, so now we have that. So now we have these two pieces, the pieces that we had rounded. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little Velcro dots. These little Velcro dots I got on clearance from Walmart. And I'm going to apply it to the bottom of the rounded part. And I found this to be the easiest way by going underneath and then going up. And I want to have this like a little bit of gap, about a 1/4 inch of gap. Make sure that I'm in the middle, and then I'm going to press down. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Making sure I have it remotely lined up to match the right side. And I'm going to press down. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these towards me, and I'm going to pull my lid down. And then I'm going to pull this back, apply my hot glue, and then attach it to the lid. And then I'm going to repeat that on this side. Alright, so we have that so far. So now our 1/2 inch by 6 inch, I'm going to fold up on that score line. And you can take your bone folder or whatever tools you have, and I'm going to round this piece. And then attach it to the top here. I'm going to grab my hot glue. About a 1/2 inch. And then for the last piece that we are to adhere are our straps. This is the 6 by 1 inch, and I'm going to fold it so that my decorative part is behind it. Same thing on this one. So what I like to do is I want to make sure that my top piece sits in the middle vertically like this. And so I'm going to adhere some hot glue and do it at the corner, not all the way to the very end, but it's kind of at the corner here. And then do the same thing on this side. And then I'm going to fold it over, but I'm going to turn it so that it is horizontal with our 1/2 inch portion of the back of our lid. But I want to make sure I get it kind of lined up well so it'll meet in the... Alright, and there you have it. You have your cute little, and if you want to, you can even punch holes on the side so you can have like a long shoulder strap. But you have your little pockets here. You have plenty of room for Happy Mail, and then you can go ahead and decorate it to however you like.